Good afternoon and welcome to the Maski TV podcast. Usually you guys are used to Zipo Majova, but today you've got me. I am Nicole Mostert and I'm the creative producer for Maski TV, and we are launching Crack the Maths Code, a brand new series by Maski Miller Learning today. And I have been I've had the wonderful privilege of interviewing our CEO Keshri Alwa already this morning, and Dr. Benedette Animani, who's our executive for product and services. And right now, my dear colleague and friend Thandi Kgosana is the lead publisher for mathematics, and we are going to jump straight into what it took to make this incredible book with her. Welcome, Thandi. Thandi, you are no stranger to the studio at all. You guys will have seen her plenty on Maski TV Live. But today we're here to talk about this incredible new series, which I know you and your team have been spending many hours and days and weeks and nights creating.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
How are you feeling?
No, I'm feeling so very happy, really happy. And I feel like I'm one of the people who are very privileged to be part and parcel of the team and Maski Miller Learning and be given the authority to do what I believe it's good and it's needed out there. So yeah, awesome. I'm very happy.
Thandi, tell me, what is behind the name? I love it. How did we get there? So,
Nicole, Crack the Maths Code it's really personal to me. It's not just cracking something. As a learner, not even as a teacher first, because I am a teacher, Thandi. So before then, I was a Thandi learner who has been in the very rural area, deep rural area, without a textbook, without material, with just that teacher who had a hope at some point. And I can recall that one time, or many times of my life, especially when I was in FET, I would have to borrow the study guides from my peers, friends that had a privilege of managing to buy the study guides. I remember there was a yellow and the pink study guides then for physical sciences, and the maths one was yellow, the physics was pinkish. I used to borrow that study guide, and when they're busy talking, playing, I'll be sitting at the back and copying the study guide from the first page to the last. And I'll have one book, like a 3 quires, one book as a questions book, and then the other book as answers book. Then I would use that as my study guide. And what motivated me then was, even though I was copying from them, I would still be the best learner. And that was my purpose, to say, wow, so you don't really have to have this to do what. But from that day, I promised myself that I will try by all means to change the other Thandi that would look like me another day and somewhere. I didn't know how then, because I was still young, but that was my purpose. And I think I was privileged enough to be a teacher then from a learner. So instead of me going, my marks was really good enough for me to be a doctor or an engineer or something else, but I decided to be a teacher because I wanted that Thandi who is in the other side, being supported enough by someone who believed in and who have been through the same situation that they were, like me then, right? So that was my motive. And every time I would want to do maths, I've never left the sum before I get it right. So literally Crack the Maths Code, I've instilled it in myself, and I used to crack any code that I would have. And when I moved from a learner then to be a teacher, I instilled it in my learners to say, maths is just a pattern. It has just a code. If you can crack that code, you have credit all. And I always told them this one thing, that it's not all about the maths to pass and go on. Trust me, if you crack that code, you have actually solved many of the problems that you're going to reach in life, not necessarily just maths. So I taught them that, and believe me, when I meet them today, being they passed maths or they didn't pass, they still remember my teaching. And Crack the Maths Code is just a slogan that I used to use as a teacher as well. So when I get a privilege to do something at MML and given power to choose what I can do, then the name came up to my mind and say, Crack the Maths Code.
Wow, I love it. And you touched a little bit on this just now, but as a maths teacher, what does Crack the Maths Code mean to you?
It really means a lot because as a teacher, then crack the maths code, that means that it motivates the learner before they can do anything. They just have to, we all have to first understand and actually admit that there is a code somewhere that we must crack, we must break it. So if the learner can know that, we are not hiding. We're not saying that maths is easy. No, we are saying that there's a code. And if there's a code that needs to be cracked, that means that somebody must work through that code until you get it and you crack it. So that is just a motivation as a teacher to say, even if you don't understand, but since we all know, we have acknowledged that there's a code that we must crack, then let's try and crack it and go do it together. So a learner is not left there as an isolated child. The teacher is with who is me now and other teachers that are saying we can crack this together because this code is just what we need to do and crack. And for me, this crack the maths code for any other child who have the capacity or don't have the capacity, which they don't believe in themselves, can then be motivated enough to just look at the book and say, I will crack this code at any point in time. So crack the maths code is there for everyone, I believe.
Awesome. And how do you see this type of book, or at least the study guide, changing or shaping the learner's journey moving forward?
So as they are positively, in me, my understanding is that if they think positive, then they can be able to go. So the study guide is designed in a way that it has things that learners would not know, or maybe some teachers might not even understand. For example, there's mnemonics and quick wins where the learner themselves, before they go to class, they can actually understand that, which in general, in teaching language, we just call them slogans. So those are slogans, we call them mnemonics and quick wins in this book. So it just summarizes what you need to know. So for example, there's a slogan that we use in algebra which says BODMAS, and it's used most of the time in the lower grades, so and so on. But now in Crack the Maths Code, we went and used BADMAS, which BADMAS just represents the same, that you have to have to use brackets. You use if there's an exponent, you then use an exponent, and if there's division, you go for division. So it like we try to cover all those things which are left behind by other slogans that have been created. So all the slogans that we have created there, if a learner can master them before they even got to be taught the subject or the topic by that time, then they are winning. And to any learner, I do believe that they need that motivation before they start in anything, and that happened to each and every topic of Crack the Maths Code for all the grades. Over and above that, we have went and taken the diagnostic report from 2017 to 2024, which is there, but not everyone have access to them since it need internet and all that. So we have made sure that we summarize it nicely and put all the errors and say, this is the error that you can get. This is an example of what other learners have written, and this is how you can avoid them. So they need to know that, as well as tips to say, if I have done these questions that Keshri have talked about, there's many questions and answers in the book, well done. But if you fail, then what? What motivates you to do it again? So we gave you tips to say, okay, look at these tips, look at this guidance. If you can be able to follow them nicely, go back and do it again and be motivated all the time. So that is what I think the learner can be accommodated in. All the learners will be catered in this book, over and above the AI tutor that Benedict has spoken about, yes, and all other videos that are embedded into the book. So the book is very packed. It's literally, to me, I call it 8 in 1, because all this which I'm reading 1 is literally in the separate space of each other books from the other books that we might have or other publishers. So it's literally 8 in 1 book. So there's videos, the tutor, there's question papers, there's answers, there's each topic video that guide into what you do, how you do this. And over and above that, we have put our Maski, which can also help you as a tutor when you are at home in your comfort zone studying. So this book, for me, it can even work for the TVET colleges as well, because the TVET colleges do grade 10, 11, 12 work. So a TVET college child, a child who did not pass matric but they want to rewrite or supplement whatsoever without a teacher, can literally use Crack the Maths Code to teach themselves going forward.
That is phenomenal. Thandi, as the lead publisher for mathematics, what who are the integral parts of the team that put something together like this? And I'm sure everybody is very important, but we also have the author and your Emmys, etc. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, of course. I think if I don't, they will all don't talk to me after here, because I wake them up early in the morning, night, and all that where I can. But nonetheless, then we had, I think as Benedict have indicated, we need a strong team to create such a wonderful study guide. So over and above us doing what we have to do, or Crack the Maths Code came and all that, we had, I think, the research that was done by the sales team with the executives, which they brought it on my table at that point and say, please check this thing, and if it's good, let's go. They gave me manuscript, which was very raw, in a very word document. I was like, oh Lord. And at that time I was like, will this thing come right? But I looked at them and I found my team, which I have a very strong team outside the company, reviewers, editors, maths checkers, proofreaders, which are all teachers and very experienced teachers in the maths, that helps me outside to make sure that we do the quality over and above the author, who is Brian, who actually have to give the ground of how we need to start, or he's the one that actually bring that manuscript however they are. That is what we take and we revamp, work with him. I think for the first time in my publishing journey, I met an author that was dedicated to work through their IP, and that was Brian. So he was in until the last time of the book. Even today, if I was calling him to be here, he would be standing here with me and push it together. So it is very a privilege that he is very young, yes, but he was also dedicated to ensure that whatever we instruct, ask for him, what need to be corrected, what need to be checked, and all that, he was up running with us from the beginning to the end of the book. So he gave us the manuscript, we clean it and we do the production, all that need to be done from MML's point of view, the typesetters and all those proofreaders, and then we send it back to him. We tell him this and this and this need to be checked. He literally followed and he will check it like that. We're very privileged to have an author like him, and all the team that I worked with, they were awesome. They were running the marathon with us until today. And my internal team, which is my managing editor. So I do have 5 managing editors that are actually 100%. They sometimes become maths people. They do everything possible to ensure that whatever we need to do, it's done properly. And the funny part of it, most of the time, one of my managing editors, I'm not going to say her name because she'll kill me, she'll always say, Thandi, we are tired of you dreaming and come back and tell us what you want us to do. So I remember we get a spec, right? And the spec looked fine, but I came back one day after the typesetters were done typesetting, and I said, this spec is not mating. And they were all saying, but now what? I was like, we are starting over. And I'm like, we are starting over. And everybody, including the typesetters, were very angry at me, but I stayed and said, this is not what this is what I've dreamed about. We are going to do it this way. I said, are we following dreams or the spec that we approved? And I said, no, we are doing it this way. Because to me, creating this is not for me and me only. It's for that Thandi that I have left behind one day. And I believe that child is still there somewhere in someone. And I need that child to feel accommodated. So whenever I dream, I feel like that child is talking to me back to say, fix me. You are not catering for me. So that is actually the motive behind all this. But I'm very, very grateful that over and above that, my manager, Benedict, and our CEO, Keshri, they always just make sure that you do what you have to do to get where you go. They support, they stay behind, everything that they do over and above things. I mean, we're not going to say them all online, Nicole, but there are many of them that they do. We are very grateful to have them and ensure that we are here to shine for the company as well. So Masked Media Learning is a home of peace, I believe.
I agree. Thank you so much, Thandi, and thank you for your time and all of the best. I'll see you this evening for Masked TV Live.
Oh yeah, you guys don't forget, we still have maths in the afternoon. We have grade 7 and grade 12 with teacher Thandi. So I'll be revamped and going to become teacher Thandi then. And please subscribe so that we can make sure that you're notified and you know that we are here for you. We are not just doing it. Remember, there's a little Thandi somewhere there inside me, and it's always make sure that everyone is catered for.
Exactly. And to the rest of our viewers online, Don't go anywhere. We are going to be doing some more podcasts for the rest of the afternoon with the rest of the maths team and also some of our other MML colleagues. But please make sure that you buy our Crack the Maths Code study guide. It is available in all reputable bookstores soon. But this afternoon, it's going to be available on our MML site, which should be shown on the screen. Please go and inquire there, call us, reach out to us on social media. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer them for you. Till later, see you then.